Hello Space Nerds, my name is Anthony England. I am the creator of Tiny Space Academy and sole developer at 4-Bit Games. Today, I want to continue my mini-series on colonizing Mars, as well as showcase some of the latest changes for 1.0.4.0. So let's begin. Alright, this is where we left off on our last video. We got our rover onto Mars, but now we want to get a station. So let's go ahead and go back to the launch pad and create our station. I'm going to begin with the large rover cockpit. What I want to do is I'm actually going to make this into like a control tower of the station. So let's do that. And then I'm going to grab a large science module, center that. Grab a four-way connector, grab a large science module, duplicate, let's do that. And then I'm going to grab some batteries so we can actually use these modules. Okay, let's grab a fuel tank, let's grab a smaller one. So the idea is we'll have solar panels on this station, but I also want to be able to do some resource mining, and I need a place to put that fuel or resource and then convert it to power so I can power the station. So let's grab a fuel cell, and then we'll also grab a mining drill, and that should do it for that. Grab some landing legs, throw you there, and we'll mirror that. Let's see, what else do we need? We got, let's add a small reaction wheel, because this is going to be a little bit larger of an object to rotate. And then I want to add some bracing. In this game, bracing is not really required, since the entire rocket acts as one physics unit, but I'm doing this for style points. So let's go ahead and add that right there. I also want to add some antenna dishes. Antennas give you extra science points, as well as they look cool, so that's always a bonus. Let's throw that right there. Let's also grab another antenna. Where are ya? I need that. So we'll throw another small one up there. These don't stack. Antennas don't stack, so this is just mostly for style right now. Not to mention I am in sandbox, so there is no science points. So yeah. Alright, I think this is going to be our station. Let's launch, deploy landing legs. Yeah, I like the look of this. Let's go ahead and reset. Here's the first new feature I want to show you. Now when you reset, you have to confirm it. I was having a few complaints, or people having issues with accidentally clicking the reset when they're trying to click a different button. So that should make life a little bit easier for you guys. Right, now let's get this thing onto the surface of Mars. The first thing I want to do is grab a decoupler. And what I'm going to do is create let's grab the scaffold. I'm going to create a landing system. So I'm going to start with using parachutes, but the surface of Mars is, or the atmosphere of Mars is very thin, so I can't really use just parachutes. Parachutes would definitely help and slow me down a little bit, but I will need to add engines to reduce my speed. Parachutes, which are in accessories. Grab the large parachute. Okay, so this here is what I'm thinking. Parachutes will slow me down, and engines will help me with the landing, reduce my speed. The benefit of doing it this way is that this will ideally self-right itself. Since the thrust is up above and the mass is down below, it should technically kind of right itself over time. So that is the thinking on that. Let's go ahead and stack our staging for the parachutes. That should do it for that. Let's get this thing into space now. You know what? Let's go ahead and showcase another new feature. I'm going to go to settings. And I just added a new setting that says enable engine staging. So let's click that. Save. Back. So now whenever I place an engine, it will add it to the staging down here. This is a advanced feature. I did this. I had a few requests to do this, and it gives you kind of customization when to turn on and off engines. But I also did this as a settings because this takes up a lot of horizontal space, and on mobile it kind of fills up your entire screen if you have to show each engine. So that's why it's a settings option, and allows you to customize it. It's not required, but it's there. All right. Oh, I forgot to add solar panels. So let's just add some scaffold real quick and get our solar panels to make it look pretty. Solar 1 dos. That should do it. All right, now let's get this thing to Mars. We're gonna add a extra small coupler. This thing's way too large to put a fairing on it, so it's gonna be kind of an eyesore on liftoff. Grab that, grab our vacuum engine. There we go. We're going to grab our decoupler. Perfect. And we can merge the engine and the decoupler because we can activate those at the same time. Let's go ahead and grab our main booster. So grab some of these T2 fuel tanks. Always like the orange color, kind of reminds me of the SLS. Grab the adapter. We're going to grab the two T2 large engines. If you've watched my other videos, you know this is a pretty standard build for me when it comes to how I build my rockets here. At least for the first stage. I'm going to grab that. So I'm doing some side boosters right now. So we grab the SRB, and then we'll grab a nose cone. Nose cones give you a small bonus for aerodynamics. I'm gonna duplicate that and then mirror it. And voila, that should be our entire rocket. Let's mess with the staging real quick so we can combine the 4 first stage engines. I'm gonna combine the decoupler, the side decouplers for these boosters. So what will happen is this will lift off. The SRBs will run out of fuel first, but then we use the side decouplers, and then we will decouple the first stage from the second stage. Let's go ahead and save the rocket. We'll save it as the Mars Colony Station. I've actually made this video 2 other times, so this is my 3rd try. I've been having some weird crackling noise with my game volume. I don't know what that's about. It's the first time I've seen it. I hope you guys who are also making recordings aren't having the same problem I am. I'm not sure what's causing it. Probably my recording software, to be honest. Anyways, let's get going. It looks pretty good, so let's click launch. So I'm going to just look at my staging here. What's cool about this is I can go 100% thrust without actually igniting the engines. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and start that. Spacebar. And I get an indicator now that says the engines are on. Next stage will be releasing the side boosters. Right now I'm just going straight up. I will rotate once I get to a better location in the thinner atmosphere. And I'll be running out of fuel just right about now. I'm going to lower my thrust because I don't want to turn this guy on yet. All right. Another new feature is I've added the rotation of the rocket is increased by the mass. I was getting a lot of complaints that the rockets were too difficult to rotate, and you would have to have like 20 different or a ton of these reaction wheels to actually get the rocket to rotate. So I just kind of made it a little bit easier. I'm not trying to make this game super challenging or unfun for players. I just wanted to make it a fun game for everybody. So right now I am increasing my horizontal speed. I am going to Mars, so I am going to try to reach escape velocity of Earth, and then once I do that, my main orbital contact will be the Sun, because that's Earth's parent orbital body. But I want to be at least pointing in the direction of Mars, so I have the best transition. So I'm going to reach escape velocity of Earth in just a second. There I go. And as you see there, I just got captured into the Sun. I know I've had a few complaints about how this kind of feels a little awkward, and I agree, but it's just the fact that my speed is not that high compared to the mass of the Sun. So you need a little bit more thrust to continue to get to Mars. Another new feature I've added in the 1.0.40 is the AP and the PE, which is the apogee and perigee. It's kind of a beta feature right now. There's a few bugs with it that I am not super thrilled about, and I think those will get fixed in time. So don't yell at me that it doesn't fully work. It does work, but when you have a near perfect orbit or near perfect circular orbit, the AP and the PE like to kind of flip-flop, kind of shift, and it's just the fact that the physics is run in real time and is not locked once you turn off your engine. So it's just the way the game is designed. I will find a way to fix it in the future, but for now it works, and it does a decent job. It's because right now my apogee should be about 66,546 kilometers from the sun, sun's surface. In reality, it should be from the center of the sun, but to make it easier for players to understand like what their altitude will be or elevation, it's from the surface. So anyways, let's continue. So I am going to Mars. I'm going to rotate my rocket to do a deceleration burn. Don't go too fast. I'm going to rotate it, so my engine is facing the opposite direction of my velocity. I'm going to do a burn. I have to get down to around 130, I think, for Mars. I'm going to slow down. I'm getting really close. And ideally, I would hit the capture point at Mars right at apogee for Mars. So, oh, am I wrong? 110. There it is. It's way less than 130. It's like 1. Well, I guess actually I take that back. It depends on your elevation away from Mars. The further you're out, the lower that number is. The closer you are to the surface, the higher that number is. Because it's all about the escape velocity. Anyways. So we are captured into the Mars orbit with a perigee of 110 and an apogee of 135. Here's another new feature. Rovers also now have the rover icon, so it's kind of cool. You can kind of tell the difference between the different rockets that you have. So my goal right now is to land near the rover. So I'm going to try to plan for a entry point right about here, and then I'm going to have the atmosphere slow me down, and I should hit the location around the rover. Oh, by the way, before you do any major maneuver, I would highly recommend saving. Alright, let's go ahead and do our burn to slow down. So right now I'm just gonna graze the atmosphere, and my apogee will slow down or lower as I slow down over here. I'm going to decouple my booster here. I'm going to rotate my station so that my engines are pointing in the correct direction when I enter the atmosphere here. This will also help with my landing. Now would also be a good time to also deploy my landing legs. Bingo. Still got plenty of power, so we don't need to do anything for that. So I'm going to also activate my engines. Make sure when you activate your engines that you have your thrust where you want it. So as you see here, as I enter the atmosphere and it gets thicker, my apogee will lower. I'm going to deploy my parachute next. Maybe I can even land on this little plateau again. Turn on thrust for those engines to correct. Rotate. I do not want that hill. Ah, no. Not the hill. Alright, let's try that again. I kind of want it to be either here or here. So I do not want to be on that sloped hill. So let's go ahead and load game. Go ahead and lower that. And let's go ahead and ditch our second stage. Again, we'll do our landing legs. We should be good on power. I'm going to rotate my rocket now in preparation for where I want to have it facing on re-entry. That should do it. Let's go ahead and increase thrust, or sorry, game speed, not thrust. Make sure my thrust is low before I activate the engine stage. So engines are on now. I'm going to deploy the parachutes. Attempt to slow my rocket down even further. I'm going to activate my engines because I should have plenty of fuel to land safely. I'm trying to lower my horizontal velocity. There you go. Lowering thrust so that I am near vertical. And increasing because I don't want to go too high. There we go. We have touchdown. Now, I also want to get rid of this guy so I can decouple that. And then I can go ahead and remove it. So that was the scaffold. Let's go ahead and delete that. And voila, we have our station on Mars. And go ahead and do some mining. And then we're going to activate our, well, can't do mining yet. We'll activate our fuel cell to generate power, as well as our solar panels. And we'll activate our drill to replenish our fuel. Well, that is it for this episode. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. This game is Tiny Space Academy. It is available on most platforms, iOS, Android, and Steam. Thank you for the support. Please leave any feedback or questions you may have. You can also join our Discord. We have a very fun and active Discord community for the game. So yeah, have a great day and thanks for watching.